Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. We're really going to get into it today, diving into decentralized finance, specifically AAV4. Everyone's calling it an upgrade, but it seems like a lot more than that.
Yeah, it's a whole new chapter, and it's happening at such a pivotal time for DeFi.
Right, like with how much DeFi is growing.
It's mind-blowing. Billions of dollars are flowing through these protocols now, so the stakes, they've never been higher.
And that's going to be part of why seeing Aave constantly evolve. I mean, think about it. From Efland to a cornerstone of all DeFi? That's huge.
It's massive, and it shows you how dedicated they are to staying ahead of the curve.
For sure. So for anyone listening who's involved in DeFi, understanding V4, it's not really optional, is it?
It's crucial, and I'd argue it's not even just about understanding the tech itself. It's about understanding Aave's whole philosophy.
How do you mean?
Well, they're laser-focused on risk management, and we saw that in action recently.
You're talking about that whole CRV situation with MakerDAO?
Exactly. How Aave handled that whole thing, it really highlighted their commitment to playing it safe, to prioritizing long-term stability. And it seems like V4 doubles down on that.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about these liquidity premiums they're introducing. What's the deal with those?
Okay, so imagine you want to borrow some crypto, right?
Okay.
Before, you'd often get hit with a fixed interest rate, but V4 changes the game. They're bringing in dynamic interest rates that change based on the collateral you're using.
So if I use something kind of volatile as collateral, my interest rate would be higher than someone using, say, a stablecoin.
You got it. It encourages borrowers to think carefully about their collateral and the risks involved.
It's like they're building in these automatic safeguards.
Exactly. It's about making the entire protocol more resilient, especially when the market takes a downturn.
So that's risk management.
Yeah.
But how does this tie into capital efficiency, which I know is another big focus for V4?
Okay, so capital efficiency. It's about making sure every single bit of capital in the protocol is being used as effectively as possible.
Right, squeezing every ounce of utility out of it.
And this is where one of the most revolutionary aspects of V4 comes in, the unified liquidity layer.
Okay, yeah. The unified liquidity layer is like this mystical thing everyone keeps mentioning.
Yeah.
Break it down for us. What is it?
Think of it this way. It's like Aave is creating one giant pool of liquidity. And get this, you can access it across all their markets.
All their markets. So we're talking different blockchains, assets, everything all connected. How is that even possible?
V4's architecture is doing things that weren't possible before. So say you've got some Ethereum just sitting there on the mainnet, right?
Right.
But you want to borrow a stablecoin on Polygon before V4. Total nightmare.
I can imagine bridging, swapping.
The worst. But now with this unified liquidity layer, it's seamless. They've got these things called portals, and they let your Ethereum on one chain act as collateral to borrow on another, all tapping into this one big pool of liquidity.
Wow. That's a game changer. Not just for people like me, but institutions too. More efficient, more flexible, but still secure.
Exactly. And that's Aave's vision, to build a truly interconnected, decentralized future of finance. And they're making it adaptable, ready for anything that comes next, which is where modularity comes in.
Modularity. All right. I'm not going to lie. That one's kind of going over my head.
Think of it like this. Imagine V4 as this complex machine, but with swappable parts. You can upgrade each part individually. Before, it was like trying to fix a car engine while it's still running. Risky, right?
Yeah, it could blow up the whole system.
Now they can upgrade parts without messing with everything else.
So more flexibility, less risk of everything crashing down.
Yes. Faster innovation, better security, and more ways for other developers to get involved. It's huge.
It's like they're building the foundation for everyone to work together.
They are.
But it seems like their goals are even bigger than what we've talked about so far, right?
Yeah, Aave's definitely made their mark on Ethereum, but it feels like they're ready to go even further.
Okay, now I got to know. What's bigger than basically running Ethereum DeFi? We've got to explore that more when we come back. So before we went away, we were talking about Aave expanding past just Ethereum. What's the deal with that?
So they're already on some other EVM chains, right? But what's really got people talking is, well, they seem really interested in these chains that use totally different languages, specifically Rust and Move.
Right, because it's more than just like swapping out some code, isn't it? It's like these languages, they come from totally different ways of thinking about how blockchain should even work.
Absolutely. Like, look at Rust. Super focused on security and speed. And people are using it to build some really ambitious stuff.
The kind of stuff that can handle way more transactions than Ethereum can even dream of.
Exactly. So for Aave, this isn't just about, being on more chains. It's about exploring new possibilities, seeing how other people are tackling these challenges.
Learning from different approaches, seeing what sticks.
It's the whole point of decentralization, right?
Yeah.
Diversity, trying new things. And that brings us to something I know everyone's been wondering about. That Aave L1.
Okay, yeah, the Aave L1. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
We're talking their own custom-made blockchain, right?
Yeah.
Made for Aave,
Yeah.
the future of DeFi, everything.
That's the rumor, at least. I mean, they haven't officially announced anything yet.
Right.
But still, just the fact that it's on the table, that tells you something.
It's a long game. Like,
Yeah.
they're not just riding the wave, they're trying to figure out how to control it.
And that's what makes the Aave so interesting. They're not just building a product. They've got this whole vision.
A vision of a financial system that's actually open, efficient, accessible to everyone.
Exactly. And they get it. For DeFi to really take off, it can't just be for the techies.
It's got to be easy to use, safe, intuitive for everyone.
100%.
Okay, so let's do a little time travel, right? It's 2030, DeFi is mainstream.
Yeah.
What's that world look like?
Yeah.
Where does Aave fit in?
Okay, so in this future, DeFi isn't some niche thing anymore. It's just how finance works.
Like, just imagine you open up your phone, you can access any financial service you need, no banks, no hidden fees, just open.
Exactly. And in this world, Aave, they're not just a lending platform anymore.
What do I
They're
do?
like the foundation of everything, the bedrock that all these other services are built on.
So, like, we're talking decentralized exchanges,
Yeah.
prediction markets, stuff like that, all running on Aave.
Exactly. So anyone who wants to build the next generation of financial tools, they're going to be going to F.
And that means they got to track both the users and the builders.
And that's why all this stuff matters. The user experience, expanding to new chains, it all ties together.
It's like they're building this adaptable platform that can roll with the punches, keep growing with DeFi.
Which, let's be honest, is moving ridiculously fast.
No kidding. And that kind of brings us back to that Aave 1, doesn't it? It's like they're building their own highway for the future.
And not just for the big players, right? It's open to everyone. That's what DeFi is all about.
This really feels like we're on the edge of something huge, like a fundamental shift in how we even think about finance. And Arrive's leading the charge.
They are. And for anyone listening who wants to get involved with DeFi, even if you're just starting out, Arrive's a good example to look at.
It's a reminder that we are still so early in this whole thing, and it's moving so fast. But if you can understand what's happening, pay attention to the tech.
And keep asking questions.
Exactly. Then you can be a part of this. You can help shape how it all plays out.
Because this isn't some boardroom deciding the future. We're all building it together right now.
And that's what makes it so exciting. It really is. So much to think about. Like with Mrav making these big moves, how much is it going to impact everything else in DeFi? It's like they're setting the tone for everyone.
Yeah, it's a chain reaction. Like,
Yeah.
take that risk management thing we keep coming back to. That's not just about Aave, right?
Right.
It's like they're setting a new standard for everyone else to follow.
Because if they can actually pull it off, build this super secure, stable platform,
It forces everyone else to step up their game.
it raises the bar for the whole industry. And that's huge.
Totally. And it's not just theoretical, right? I think about what we were saying about MakerDAO, that whole CRV thing. Aave being so careful, it probably helped them dodge a bullet.
Totally. And let's not forget about them going beyond Ethereum. What do you think? How big of a deal is that?
Imagine a world where, like, DeFi isn't stuck in its little boxes anymore, where everything can actually work together, share liquidity, all that. That's the future Aave's building.
Instead of everyone competing, it's like collaboration. It's kind of beautiful when you think about it.
It is. And it shows you how they think. It's not just about keeping up. It's about seeing what's next. Anticipating.
Which brings us back to that Aave L1, doesn't it? Their own highway system for the future of finance.
And it's open to everyone,
I'm
right? That's what's so cool about DeFi. It's about bringing these tools to everyone, not just the big players.
It feels like we're on the edge of something massive. Like,
Yeah.
what if this really is how we start thinking about finance? No more old rules.
It's definitely a possibility. And Aave is at the forefront.
They are. And you know what? I think there's a lot to learn from them. I mean, for anyone, whether you're deep in DeFi or just hearing about this for the first time.
100%.
Because we're still so early. This whole thing is moving so fast. But if you can understand what's going on, pay attention.
Keep asking questions.
Exactly. You could actually be a part of it, help figure out how this all unfolds. And that's what's so exciting.
Because this isn't being decided in some boardroom somewhere. We're all doing this right now.
And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the Aave 4 and the future of decentralized finance.
It's been a wild ride.
For sure. But until next time, keep exploring, keep learning. And as always, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.